are listening to The Review on the OSG Sports Podcasting Network.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Review. It's the Online Sports Guys College Football Podcast, which, to be honest with you, has been a bit on a hiatus here for the last month or two due to the fact that it's summertime and we all have stuff going on in our lives.
No games being played, that's why.
Well, yeah, but there's been plenty of news. That part hasn't been an issue.
Plenty of courtroom action.
Yes, hit me. What's on your mind?
So many things to talk about and go through. I mean, everything from players getting paid.
Getting paid.
What other legal action has been happening? There's one the newest one that kind of caught my attention was naming rights for conferences. Is the newest thing.
Oh, God.
The Big 12 talking about getting naming rights.
Does this mean that Mayhem's going to be in charge of video review? Is that how this is going to work?
Mayhem is Sky Judge.
Yeah, there you go.
One conference is going to have the regular guy, and the other one's going to have the mascot version. That'll be the mascot for each.
Does Allstate and Dr. Pepper and Home Depot kind of split up the big power conferences?
People complain about the speed of reviews in the Big 12-18. It's a one speed. I mean, this is how I'm tempted to use the word desperate when it comes to trying to find ways to get revenue other than television contracts, because if you're falling behind everybody else in your TV revenue and in your conference revenue from networks, you're trying to figure out ways to make up the difference if you don't have the money or if you're trying to find ways to make up the dollars. And so now the Big 12-18 or the Big 12-16 or however the hell many teams they have now, it's just like, yeah, we'll get corporate sponsorship. So are they going to be the All-State 12? Is that what they're
Big Conference USA?
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, they're former Conference USA team.
But honestly, that's what I
think my favorite Twitter response was when the idea was getting floated around about selling sponsorship on jerseys. Someone did a Oregon State with Buc-ee's replacing the beaver on the side that I kind of did like.
But I mean, I get that. But are there any Buc-ee's?
They had Buc-ee's in that part of the world.
I was going to say, are there any Buc-ee's in the Tupac in that geographic region?
Just give it time. They were open one in Ohio not too long ago.
You're everywhere, as they should be, because you get the pulled pork, you get the banana.
I got like 4 within an hour of my house.
Yeah.
You live in Texas, though.
Unfortunately, none of them are within 15 to 20 minutes of my house.
Marty can't go anywhere without hitting a Buc-ee's.
3 meat sandwiches. I said it all last season. 3 meat sandwich.
Whereas the closest ones to here in Metro Atlanta are an
Bama,
hour north and 2 hours south.
The Calhoun and Warner Robins right now. They're building others, and there's one in Auburn. But this is where conferences are. I mean, I guess we should give the Big 12 credit for chasing other revenue options and trying to figure out how to make up the difference to their member schools.
Yeah,
but
that's trying a lot harder than the ACC is.
It's not the only thing they're
not
doing.
That's a compliment.
The NCAA, or I should say the NCAA, it's been already agreed upon that you can put on-field sponsorships now.
I mean, it's done in bowl games. So, I mean, what does it matter that if it's done during a regular season and you have an in-game sponsor and somebody decides that they want to plaster their
I don't mind the field. Just leave the jerseys alone.
Yeah. I mean, but you know that that's coming, though. You know that you're going to have stuff. It's going to look like Liga MX by the time we're done. It's going to be like sponsorship everywhere. It's going to be down the back of the jersey.
Remember in the movie Major League when they made fun of having the outfield sponsorships in the pro level, and then now it's all there is.
Yeah.
You see the Roger Thorne version of a college football athlete cutting a promo. That's okay. Dude, they get those airing on television every place.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You're gonna get the billboards wrapped around the stadium, and next thing you know, we're gonna get them paying off. Well, next thing you know, college football doesn't have a lot of stadiums that are sponsored by companies, but I think that's coming too.
Give it time, brother. I mean, it's look, where do you make up the revenue in corporate?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Big House and Home Depot really is a match that's just sitting there, low hanging fruit stuff,
Yeah.
waiting for somebody.
Yeah, I mean, if a university has that kind of an opening, then that is what would be one of the least surprising things ever. Logos on the field, sponsorship of stadia, that's fine. Just the whole idea of putting a corporate tie to a conference name is the thing where you're sitting there going, wow, okay, so that's where you are as an entity, where you're doing that kind of observations about yourselves instead of doing what we're talking about here, and putting corporate names on stadia and things like that. So we're just going to go straight to renaming our conference and getting it sponsored. Okay, you have fun with that.
The Zaxby's SEC conference.
No, well, no, I don't think Zaxby's got enough money for that, brother.
Yeah, I was gonna say they haven't. They used to do the Heart of Dallas Bowl that then became the Ticket Bowl that then became, I don't even know.
Toilet Bowl.
I've gone to every iteration of it.
Yeah. So I mean, it's what was Heart of Dallas?
I think it's first responders now.
Probably first responders. Yeah. So let's do our Google search of the day, kids, and see just how many iterations of that bowl it has. And so, okay, so it is the first responder. It was the Ticket City Bowl. It
Got a
was
hat from that.
It was the Plains Capital Bank Bowl for one season.
Went to that.
It was the Zaxby's bowl sponsorship.
I believe that was Penn State just before they got in a little bit of trouble, or
Yes.
just after they got into trouble before anything really happened.
And then let's see, after the first,
I do have pictures of Pedo Bear in the stands and on the Jumbotron because the people operating the bowl did not know what that was.
oh wow, Plains Capital Bank in 2013, and it was like the Plains Capital Bank Heart of Dallas. So the Heart of Dallas Bowl is the anchor naming of it. Then you go the Zaxby's Heart of Dallas Bowl.
UNT played in that.
Then Serve Pro became the sponsor, and then that's when it rolled over into being it was supposed to be the first responder. Game was canceled with 5:08 remaining in the first quarter, considered a no contest for Boise State and Boston College in 2018. Do you remember that with all the weather that happened in the first?
I do remember the weather. I didn't know it got canceled because I
no
was
contest.
buried in some other problems broadcast related.
Yes, yes. The 2019 edition held at Gerald J. Ford to accommodate the Winter Classic at the Cotton Bowl, and then you go from there. So yes, it has had its sponsors: Ticket City, Plains Capital, Zaxby's, Serve Pro, Dallas Football Classic, Ticket City Bowl, Heart of Dallas presented by Plains Capital, Zaxby's Heart of Dallas, and now the Serve Pro First Responder. So that's where we are.
The first responder has done a very good job with that. They do flyovers with the Care Flight choppers, and then the end of SMU Stadium that's more open where you can actually see grass, of the campus. They actually have first responders parked there as both choppers and then emergency vehicles. It's pretty cool.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, the life flight doing the flyover was pretty neat.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. But we're used to it in bowl season. So seeing Stadia attached to it during the regular season, individual matchups are sponsored. So attaching names to Stadia for me would be no big deal. But the whole idea of just
the only thing I care about is what's going to happen with the Pop-Tarts Bowl this year.
Think about the traditionalists when if somebody's takes over the naming rights for Neyland Stadium.
Hey, look, traditionalists. I'm sorry. I mean,
they checked out a while ago.
Yeah, traditionalists. It's great that it's Neyland Stadium, but if it's what's up in Knoxville? What's in East Tennessee? Food Lion. Well, let's look, if Food Lion wants to drop 7 figures or probably 8 during football season to be the Food Lion Field at Neyland Stadium, guarantee you that if Food Lion wants to make that and the University of Tennessee Knoxville wants to sit there, yeah. If UTK is like, okay, it's going to cost you $15 million a year for these 7 home games and for any other designation for any other event, somebody's going to walk up to them and go, okay, how long do you want the ink to dry on this before you want us to send it to you? It'll happen. Just let it that doesn't
the Rose Bowl brought to you by Scotch Fertilizer.
Yeah, brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. I mean, look, there's an In-N-Out Burger right across the freeway, man.
I'd go to the In-N-Out Bowl just for the swag.
The Rose Bowl presented by In-N-Out or City or whatever 8-figure sponsored. Look, those are fine. It's part of the inevitability of the sport where you have corporate sponsorship. So it happens in the regular season. Oh no, not that.
I'm going to change the subject just a little bit with some other things because we got a long list of stuff to go through here, guys.
Rapid fire in the second half.
Yes. The college football signing period tried to be extended to a June period, which doesn't seem like it's going to go through. But we talked about this back during the season last year.
Yes.
It's already, you've got a December early signing season / transfer portal. Then you've got the February signing season / transfer portal.
I think somebody's going to blink and they're going to blend those two, but okay.
Make it after the bowl games. Jesus.
Yeah.
There's already talk that the December signing period is going to go away because it just really messes with everything.
Yeah, it does.
And it's just totally defeats the purpose.
Just take the calendar. Just take the calendar, like Marty says. Take December. This year it is December 3rd. It's the Wednesday after Thanksgiving. Take it from there. Take it to the end of the bowl games, and then come up with some mid-ground. If you slide the February date up a little bit, and you're in mid-January or mid to late January or something like that, just after all the bowl games, just do it there. And the February window, it might end up being that first Wednesday.
Make the February one the middle of January, the end of January.
Yeah, just slide the calendar on both sides. It ends up after the bowl games. You're done. Great, we solved the problem.
The only way you're going to eliminate this year-round recruiting cycle and trying to steal players cycle is by limiting that. And if that means no December, no June, just February, then that's what they should do, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, because, I mean, you got the kids that want to transfer and they get a chance to play in a bowl game. They can showcase themselves, but now they skip it to avoid getting hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think what you've got to do is you've got to look at your portaling windows, and you've got to figure out, okay, when are we going to be serious? When can we let them do it? Is it one immediately after the season? Is it one before training camps start? Those kinds of things. Do you end up with two? Is it a window? Is it a deadline? These kinds of things. Portaling is going to happen. Free agency is what it is. We are now saying the quiet part out loud, and no one should be surprised. College football athletes are looking for those opportunities where they want to play. They want to play now. They want to get the NIL that is attached to it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they want to get paid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not a surprise. And, just look, free agency is free agency. Folks are going to be in demand. And that's where we are right now with all of the financing that's going on. It's creative financing in college football. It's just, I think that with all of the calendar chaos, you've got to kind of streamline it a little bit so you don't have folks jumping 2 weeks before, the fall practice starts, those kinds of.
Yeah, protect the product. Do it after the bowl games. Jesus.
Yeah, so that's probably
not rocket science.
No, it ain't rocket surgery. No,
it is not.
A couple other newsworthy items here to kind of go through the wrap up things in the first half of the show before we get into the second half, where we kind of talk a little bit about what's coming up in the season. Saw something a little interesting, and you guys probably will get a laugh out of this, much like I did. Les Miles is now filing a lawsuit.
Good Lord.
To vacate 37 of his wins, which makes him no longer eligible to be a member of the College Football Coaching Hall of Fame.
Do better on the field. You took a job at Kansas because you wanted to think that you could resurrect that program. It was not successful. And because of that, and your winning percentage, which I think is what 4/10,000ths of a percentage point below what it needs to be for acceptance or something like that, for consideration. Win
Yeah.
one.
Is it 0.597?
Got to be like 0.6, right? It's got to be 60%.
They're like, who did the headline first? Less miles, more wins. Has anybody done that yet? Or
I think we just did.
trademark?
That's our T-shirt. Our T-shirt for the week. Less miles, more wins. Just
Let me get on Amazon, get a T-shirt printer. We're gonna change
stop.
side hustles here.
Just stop. You're giving me one of those scanners migraines when I saw that story come through. It's like, dude.
Like,
Exactly. You make my head hurt. Just win more. We'll just win more, baby. How about
See,
that?
my favorite headline that I saw not too long ago was Ohio State got a commitment from Bo Jackson.
Yeah. Was it Bono? Bono's.
You want to talk about T-shirt making opportunities?
Oh my God, you better.
I've already done 3 versions of the Bo Jackson touchdown one where I just changed the colors on the jersey. Oh,
Bono's the horseshoe, something like that. But
witty pun here.
That's what we're here for, brother.
Indeed. Other coaching news, Brett Venables gets a new 6-year deal at Oklahoma as they make the transition this season to the SEC.
Roll it over, roll it over, roll it over. Yeah, I mean, that's not a surprise. And I imagine that he's got $11 gazillion of it guaranteed, much like
yeah, because he's about to get the shit kicked out of him. So
yeah,
that guarantee now.
That was my next thing is like, okay, we're about to have a really rude awakening here.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to being better than Memphis. What are the other SEC teams that don't play in anything?
The good news about them moving to the SEC is, however they struggle, there's always Vanderbilt.
True. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Yeah. So yeah, you could be Vanderbilt. That's basically what you're staring at here. But yeah, you'll be bowl eligible before they are. You and Texas. That SEC West is going to be insane. But everybody's going to be looking at OU and going, bruh. Texas will be chasing after things with Alabama in the SEC West, and everybody's going to be looking at Oklahoma, and Brent Venables is going, I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid for 8-4.
Yeah. And if he doesn't make it through those 6 years, he still gets paid.
He gets paid. I look like I made it to the transition of the SEC. I'm getting paid, bruh. I'm getting paid.
Then I'll go to A&M.
Get more guaranteed money. Don't remind me about that. What else is on that rundown of yours, sir?
Oh, we've got a whole bunch more things to go through, but we'll get to that when we return for the second half of the review. You are listening to the review on the OSG Sports Podcasting Network.
Please like and subscribe.
Over here in the OSG Sports side of things, we talk football. FOOTBALL. College football version here with the college football review every single week. But for those of you that like not just football with 2 O's, but football with a U, FUTBOL, there's the Soccer Down Here Network. I'm John Nelson. I host the morning show on Soccer Down Here along with Jarrett Smith, Nick Alifi, Jason Longshore. And if you're looking for the best information when it comes to the world of soccer, based in the southeastern United States, but we don't leave anything off the table. 9:05 Eastern time until 11 whenever. Sometimes we go for a while. SDH Network morning show, soccer's morning show, Monday through Friday, plus all the live events we do. It is your place and your source for soccer that is based in the Southeast, but covers everything on the world. SoccerDownHere.net, the Soccer Down Here app, available iOS and Android through our friends at Spreaker. That's like speaker with an R in the middle. Spreaker, do a search for OSG Sports, do a search for Soccer Down Here. All the soccer content all in one place. It is the SDH Network and Soccer Down Here.
Thanks for sticking around, everybody. You have made it to the second half of the show. And as we kick things off, guys, we're what is it? The day we're recording this, we're roughly 2 months from the beginning of the college football season. The season starts on week 0, Saturday, August 24th.
But isn't that week 1, really?
Yeah, but everybody calls it week 0 because that's just kind of what they do.
Because it used to be week 1 used to be week 1, but now week 0 is week 1, but you still call it week 0 even if it is week 1, right?
Yes.
It's just
Okay.
weak.
Check it.
Just
Yes.
weak, no matter what.
Just checking.
And we've got all kinds of games. We'll do another couple of shows here, kind of breaking things down when we get much closer to that point. But guys, we're about to start hitting the practice season. Late July is really when they call it fall practice, but it's really summer practice. Temperatures get hot and players get hotter. There is multiple storylines. We talked a little bit in the first half about Oklahoma making the venture into the SEC. We've got remnants of the Pac-12 making its way into the Big Ten. It's going to look completely different than any other college football season we've seen in the past. Are you ready for it?
Oh God, yes.
He quotes Taylor Swift to go into the segment. I like how you're bringing the youngins in now, quoting the younger music. Are you ready for it? Doom, doom, doom. She's touring over in Europe, and
Well, people aren't painting your plane.
That's true. Yeah, that's not my plane, ma'am. It's not how this works. I mean, you're going to have all the subplots, obviously, with what's going on with all of the galactic realignment, the Tupac and their great deal with the Mountain West and the Big Sky and everybody else that's there. Although I will give the Big Ten Network a lot of credit for picking up a lot of the folks from the Pac-12 network after the Pac-12 network was dissolved. I give them full credit for the bringing over of the talent pool in front and behind the camera so they can help things out with their transitions and such. Marty, you're like in ACC West territory with everything going on there. I mean, we've talked about
ACC/SEC West.
We have 2 different conference headquarters here in town.
Yeah.
We also have the meeting place of wherever they decide to screw up the college football playoffs every year.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the place where a lot of those people stay is close to a water slide over by Great Wolf Lodge.
There's a certain sense of irony in that statement. Okay, I just
insert joke here.
I just had this vision of Sankey with a floaty, and he's going down the water slide.
They do it in a different ballroom, but they're over there.
Oh, absolutely. It's like meeting dismissed. I'm going to the.
Okay, I know we're supposed to stay at this hotel, but we're going on some water. We might even go over to Grand Prairie, as they've got a nice.
Yeah.
Even seeing all these teams playing in different conferences than they've played pretty much their entire lives. We're talking about a year when where all of a sudden the playoff goes from 4 to 12 teams.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Just before going to 16.
Yeah, just before.
College football is no longer a single elimination event where you lose a game, you're probably out for the season. You're not going to make it to the playoff. It's wide open now. We don't know what we're going to see.
All about the
It's wide open for the Big Ten and SEC.
Yeah.
It's still clinched bottoms for everybody else.
Squeaky bum time for everybody else. That's why we're sponsoring our conference now with names. We're bringing in businesses to sponsor our conference. But yeah, we have maintained that it is the 4-letter conference and the 3-letter conference because that's where their main interests lie with the television networks. One is in one direction, one's in another direction, and everybody else is trying to figure out where they can hop in. No, we're not done with galactic realignment. We are not by any stretch of the imagination. And look, this is just the new iteration of it. Yes, it's going to look weird when you're discussing, former Pac-12 teams that are having home games at odd hours for the sake of television in their new conferences. Yeah, it's like it's the new shiny toy that we get at Christmas on Christmas morning, and we get to kind of sit there and see, okay, this looks great. This battery operated truck looks great, fresh out of the box now that we've assembled it. But what happens when the batteries start to die down and the truck, runs into things and breaks furniture and all that kind of stuff?
Dog eats it.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in. After all of the newness and the shine fades away, how much patience are conferences going to be having with their members? How much patience are the members going to be having with their conferences, either new or old? How much patience is the ACC and its members going to be having with each other? Is the ACC going to be what it is in 3 years' time, as it is right now, considering that the great ACC skiff is the only place you can see the deed of gift, and do we even in fact know it exists as a document about going forward? Look,
Someone's going in there to steal that Mission Impossible style. Their days are numbered.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, what was it, the Catherine Zeta-Jones movie where she comes in from the ceiling and she tries to steal things with Sean Connery. It's gonna be something like that, to see that this deed of gift does not even exist. But the ACC, I think, really off the field should be the focal point, because of what happens if lawsuits and billable hours are approved, and then what happens with the big members of the ACC and they go.
That's not going to affect at this point, and too close in for it to have any impact.
I know, but you're still going to have it.
That makes sense, but sense has zero to do with any of this.
But you've got two separate tracks that we now have to pay attention to. We have to pay attention to the on the field track, and the new members and their new places and their new changes of address, and the Postal Service making sure that, we sent it to your old address, and everything going on off the field because of the impatience of other individuals who didn't get into this first round of movement. And now they've got to figure out how to pick up the pieces. I think the off the field will be just as interesting as the on the field, as much as we'll be wrapped up into what's going on in these new conferences and what they look like. And how many years before we have galactic realignment again? I give it 3 most.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to forcefully join ship and make them bring that document to court.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want to enforce it? Discovery.
Yeah, and I'm going to change the subject, going back to scheduling for this year.
Mm-hmm.
You think about this. You've got, say, for example, in October 12th, Minnesota travels to UCLA. Does Fox Sports say we want this to be our early game? And then all of a sudden you got a 9 a.m. kickoff in Los Angeles?
Dude, Fox is going to kick that one to NBC in a freaking heartbeat.
Well, then does NBC
that one's going to be a Peacock only
it'll be
stream, and it might even end up on Cozy.
Yeah, it'll be a Peacock only. Absolutely.
That's got Peacock written all over it.
Mm-hmm.
The point being, though, that you still have how do you schedule for something like that? Or you have Nebraska making the trip to play at USC in November. Is that your Big Fox Saturday kickoff game?
Oh Lord, no, it's not. Lord, no. You will be sticking with the Mountain and the Pacific time zone schools in these new iterations of conferences. They are going to be so far down the pecking order when it comes to primary viewing slots. And this is the situation you created for yourself. You're going to be on Peacock. You're going to be on the streaming services. You're going to be the third or fourth game in the list. That's a you problem. You decided to dive into the deep end of this particular pool, and the lifeguard who's got the oxide on his nose is just kind of sitting there going, okay, you got your swimming lessons done? We'll keep an eye on you. But
I'm gonna put my foot on your head while you're trying.
Yeah.
Which I get that with UCLA, but you're talking about USC here. And is USC really going to be, even as a new member of the Big Ten, do you really think that they're going to get pushed down below the Marylands and Minnesotas and Rutgers?
They will be the special primetime matchup on the Big Ten doubleheader day. That'll be a day-night doubleheader. They'll get they'll end up getting a 4:00 kick or a 4:30 kick local time, 7:30 Eastern. So the Eastern audiences will be able to watch that. It might even be an FS1, or depending on the opponent. It'll be a 7:30 kick and a 4:30 out.
Now, have they posted the time, though, for Ohio State traveling to Oregon? because Fox wants that. And if Fox wants that for
Right.
big noon, that's what, 8 in the morning out there? 9?
9 a.m.
Well, here's an example for you. USC at Michigan's already a game that's scheduled for 3:30 on CBS.
Wasn't that like an 80s Rose Bowl?
Yeah.
And to give you another example, the polar opposite of that is Rutgers makes the trip out to Los Angeles to play USC, and it's scheduled for 11 p.m. Eastern time.
Absolutely,
Well,
as it should.
they are the Knights.
That'll be, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so that'll probably be an FS1, or it'll be late night. It'll be big FOX after dark. So you'll have your late local news on your East Coast affiliate at 10 o'clock, and then 11
So
o'clock.
you get a couple Jersey viewers, and then some people that needed to add one last thing to their parlay.
They have a 7:30 game.
So 7:30. Then that makes it a lot easier on news divisions for FOX affiliates in the fall. It's the schedule makers are going to earn their keep, and you're going to get flexed, and it's going to be. I want to see how all this lays out for me. The on-camera element of this, I want to see what the ratings are with all of this chaos going east and west, and I want to look at it for the Western ratings and the Eastern ratings. I'm going to have to look at it from markets on both sides of the coast now to see how all of this registers, especially in year 2. Year 1, it's a shiny new toy. Year 2 and beyond, how do folks adjust to it, and do they care? That for me is going to be the interesting.
Yeah, I really want to see what happens with Oregon and all those games they play in the East.
Yeah,
it's
that game
they're going to get jobbed a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And for a team that's expected to do as well as they have with the depth of talent they have at like damn near every position.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one good thing that comes out of the scheduling thing is you get this year, you're going to get Oklahoma and Texas as a 3:30 game.
As you should.
Mm-hmm.
As you absolutely should.
They're still playing it. That hasn't changed. They're both in the same conference.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That makes too much money not to play that game. It didn't matter where they went.
Yeah, that's going to be a 3:30. That's going to be a 7 or a 7:30. That's going to be always in those spots. Absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
I'm just already not looking forward to traffic here.
Yeah, ABC prime time because ABC is getting a lot of the SEC games this year.
Yeah.
But then you've got, geez, I'm looking through different.
He didn't even say who it was. He's like, geez.
Georgia kicks off with Clemson at a noon kickoff game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's more a reflection on Clemson than it is on Georgia.
Yeah, that is true.
When's Bedlam? Ooh.
Yeah, but you look through some of these games and it's like, I don't get this.
I think my favorite change, and I think it's not actually going to happen this year, but next, Ohio State ended up having to lose UConn from their schedule.
Oh,
no. They added Grambling.
Ooh,
now,
you got to go for the
that
band.
game's ratings is not going to get anything. No. But I tell you what, that halftime show with those two bands, oh my God. That halftime show is going to get the same ratings as Ohio State, Michigan.
Oh my God, that halftime show is going to be epic.
If they do something to get both bands together, that will just be.
Well, what you do for the made-for-TV event is you add another 5 minutes for halftime and just let them roll. Let them ad lib and let them go. Give me a 28-minute halftime and I'm good.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Because legitimately the on the field stuff, it's going to be blowout city in the game. You'd run rule it, or you'd sit there and run and clock it under normal circumstances. In the fourth quarter, they're going to be running, and it's going to be, third and fourth stringers for Ohio State and just trying to get out of town healthy. Give them the expanded halftime. Absolutely give them the expanded halftime and let the two bands just crush it.
There'll be more people in the stands during halftime than during the game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like
there's going to be people tailgating through the first and second quarter and then making a beeline in to watch that halftime show.
And then they're going back out because they're done.
Yep.
Got to see what we're getting to see here.
Yeah, one of the feature games that is going to be early this season on September 28th, Georgia takes the trip to Alabama.
Who's coaching Alabama now?
Kalen DeBoer.
Not Saban.
That's going to be a 3:30 or it's going to be a 7. It might be the.
No, it's a 7:30 primetime ABC game.
Okay, good for you.
Already been decided. There's a handful of games that they've already picked times for.
Oh, I mean, but hey, if pitchforks and tiki torches are out for Kalen DeBoer at that point of the season, I mean, that will be must-see television for a bunch of different reasons.
I watch that game just for the signs in the stands.
Yeah.
That's only week 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alabama's schedule starts off Western Kentucky, South Florida, Wisconsin, and then Georgia.
Their fans are not spoiled at all. I'm sure they're going to act reasonably. And
yes, they'll be rational. There'll be rational fans at UAT. Yes, rational fans at UAT for that matchup. We're undefeated. We're back.
All right, but
yeah,
I got some questions about the season that's coming up just slightly sooner.
Uh-oh.
NCAA football is just about to get released on your favorite.
Get Kennesaw State in there.
Formats.
Have them run the table. Have them run the table doing the wishbone.
Load them up with made-up players and
load them up.
So, I've heard some stuff about the sneak peeks and how great it's going to be. I am upset that they're not going to have the mascot versus mascot setup, which was I kept my Xbox 360 just because it's the last one that had the old NCAA, and I used to love the mascots playing the other team's mascots.
Yeah, see. Now, what would be now, Marty? Since you probably are going to be playing a full season of this when everything's all lined up.
Oh, the lovely Mrs. Ranko upgraded my Xbox on my birthday for that sheer purpose.
So then, let me ask you: what would be the worst team that you would play that you would be in possession of in the power rankings? What team would you pull in there and be the most confident that you could run the table with and win a national championship?
It would take a couple seasons to develop, but I always like to take Youngstown State and replace Northwestern in the Big Ten.
You should
and run them.
We believe in pro rel here, by the way.
Although I have one with Western Kentucky.
Chiggers, all right.
Okay.
Like I said,
I'm trying to think.
I think Jarrett's going to try it. I think Jarrett and Jason are going to try it with Kennesaw State. By the way,
Gonna say Kennesaw or Georgia. Take Georgia State up there and put them in the SEC.
I think that Jarrett's going to try it with Kennesaw State. I don't know what. I think Jason might try to do the same thing, but when that comes out, I know that Jarrett.
Actually, the biggest turnaround I did was Prairie View A&M.
Ooh, okay.
I put them in the Big 12.
See now, as you do this during the season on the show, you're going to need to give us updates.
Yes, well, it's been a while since I've played college football on a modern one. So after I get my teeth kicked in by some 10-year-olds and I get up to speed,
hey, that's then
we will. We might have to throw out a challenge to some of the viewers and listeners.
Yeah.
To possibly live stream with us and
find the worst team to line up to chase after a national championship and play either Jarrett or Marty.
Texas or OU in the Big Ten or in the SEC. Sorry, wrong TV network.
Wow.
I mean, wrong conference.
Find the worst team that you can line up and chase after a championship and play Jarrett _Smith and Marty on the season to see who does what and where and when. That'd be the fun part.
Can you pick old teams from the past?
We may have to do. I got to know. I haven't seen all the features yet. I know they have Road to Glory still.
There's some pretty bad Kansas teams and some pretty bad UMass and UConn teams that you can pull in there too.
Yes.
Oh, how about SMU's first year back after the death penalty?
Oh, wow. That would be a good one. Forrest Gregg is your head coach.
Or any UNT team. Don't mean to kick a former employer. Sorry.
It's like, Mr. Dodge, sir, we're going to take your squad and we're going to chase after a national championship. But yeah, if you got the Forrest Gregg SMU team the first year back, and did it with Mitch Gleber and that bunch, that'd be.
I could get behind Forrest Gregg as a Browns fan.
You see, now we're working it with Marty here. Marty gets Forrest Gregg's first year with SMU.
For those of you at home who don't know who Forrest Gregg is, look him up on the Google search.
That's your Google search for today, kids. Forrest Gregg with 3 G's at the back. Gregg, former Green Bay Packer, legendary coach, and coached SMU their first season back after the death penalty, among other places.
Now, was he in a walker then?
Close.
Close.
It was close.
Hey, wait, that state doesn't have state tax. I'll go there for a little retirement action.
The Army, Green Bay Packers, and SMU.
We may have to set up a second channel for us.
I've answered the call. Those are the places I answered the call. I've answered the call 3 times. Welcome back to SMU. By the way, Pony Excess, never seen it. It's must-watch television. That gives you the background on Forrest Gregg and SMU that first season back. Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, we need like a separate channel and a separate bunch of shorts with the competition that would be going on to chase after a national championship with the worst team that you could ever figure out. There, done.
Amen.
What else is on your mind, Phil?
I think that pretty much covers it for this week.
Okay.
We've still got a couple. Still got 8 weeks until we kick off the season, so we could do another episode or two to kind of cover the rest of the ground.
Yeah, well, and also at the same time trying to get Marty and Jarrett squared away as we lead into the season to figure out how their training camps are going as they're getting ready for EA 25.
Yeah, I do like the story out of Boulder, Colorado, where a restaurant there has created a hamburger named after a recruit that they're trying to get to play.
Yeah, Juju Lewis, the quarterback at Carrollton High School here in our footprint, at least in part of our footprint here at OSGH.
It's over there.
Yes, Carrollton High School. Juju at the moment is saying he's going to Southern Cal. He had moved his graduation forward. He's graduating after this high school football season. He's supposed to graduate after next, but he moved his eligibility forward 1 year. So this is his senior year, even if he is as a junior age. So he's taking the tours right now at Southern Cal. You go to Colorado, they name a sandwich after you in Boulder. I don't know how much that impacts Juju on a daily basis, but what?
Let me describe.
Thank you. I was going to ask what the sandwich is.
Burger.
Yes.
A double patty cheeseburger with shredded lettuce, red onion, bacon, and A1 aioli.
A1 aioli?
I'm assuming that's mayonnaise with A1 sauce in it.
Okay, that's not too bad.
So it's a Whataburger?
Basically, yeah. I could do without the onions, but it sounds pretty decent. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's a Whataburger sandwich. I gotta go down the street and check, but I think it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Whataburger has A1 aioli.
They have no. Whataburger has an A1 sandwich. I'm telling you.
Oh man, that's
Trust a fat guy when it comes to food, sir.
And now that you're talking about A1 and burgers, I'm gonna have to go get one. So Phil, go ahead and send us home while I go chasing after an A1 burger.
All right. Make sure to look for us on social media. Of course, if you're watching this, you found our YouTube page. Like, subscribe. Let us know what you think about the show.
You're stealing the man's lines, and he's not even at the end of the show.
Throw down some challenges on the soon-to-be-released NCAA football franchise.
As we inch toward the beginning of the regular college football season, we will try doing this show a little bit more frequently to get you up to speed with everything you need to know, and we're afraid to ask about what is going to happen in the 2024 season. For OSG Nelson, for Brother Marty, I am Brother Phil. We are part of the Online Sports Guys team. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great week or two, and we'll see you again soon.
Please like and subscribe. And get your butt kicked by us on NCAA football.